We're going to do an inbox review of this kit. It's by Bronco, obviously kit number CB-35009SP, whatever the SP stands for, and it's the British Humber Mk1 Scout Car. Bronco actually does two versions of this kit. This one and another one that's also a Mk1. The main difference is you don't get the crew, but it does have a twin K gun instead of the single this one has. And the commander rider might look a bit like Caine from A Bridge Too Far, but the figure doesn't. So they're misleading people with that a bit. Anyway, we'll take a quick look at the box. Obviously it's British. So quite a bit of photo etch in this kit. A lot of decals for a very small vehicle. And that's that. And then for some reason they seem quite proud of their wheels. And what we'll do is we'll get to the instructions, which include quite a bit of color. Not in the actual instructions themselves, but we'll get to this in a minute. And we'll also get to this in a minute. It'll all come, all the packaging, or all the parts, come in one big bag. There's a wheel rattling around inside the hull in there, if you can hear it. And then most of the sprues are individually bagged inside. So what I'm going to do is open this up and get back to you in a second. Okay. And we'll also change the angle and see how things go. Okay, so we're back. Instructions have a color front, some information on the vehicle itself down there. General instructions, color callouts for the Hobby color, Mr. Hobby, Humber, and Tamiya, and the sprue map. Hopefully, let's move everything a little bit higher. I'm zoomed out as far as I can be. We'll go in closer later. Anyway, almost fits. It starts off with the hull, some detail parts inside the hull, and even more stuff inside. Then you get radio sets to put together, which is all inside the crew area. Again, more interior stuff, including a Tommy or a Thompson machine gun for the driver's compartment. Some photo etches used in here as well. Probably have a hard time seeing that the photo etch is done wherever it's used in a yellow. Oops. Hold on. There we go. So, like I was saying, the photo etch is marked as yellow on the instructions. So hopefully you don't spend too much time confused and looking for parts on the sprues. You got an engine, radiator, coolers, all sorts of stuff. You'd have to ask yourself how much of this is going to be visible. Again, I would assume that's a fuel tank. Nope. Maybe. Don't know. Yep. Probably the fuel tank. And then finally, on step 12, you start getting into the suspension and the frame. More suspension. The lower hull covers. And then the top with all the racks, etc. So it's I mean, a lot of little parts and a lot of photo etch, because there's stuff here for hinges and locking arms, etc. And I'm not sure what on earth this orange color signifies on this one. I guess I'll find out when I build it. But you don't see that in many other places. Photo etch for fire extinguisher holders. I'm not looking forward to that. Photo etch for boxes. Multi-piece for the tires. Lots of pieces for the tires. Or wheel assemblies, whatever you want to call them. And then you've got your choice of the K gun, or a Bren gun, or nothing at all, and the figures. As I said, this is the one that's supposed to be the commander, the Caine, and you can see it doesn't even really look like a beret on there, and he's in a one-piece coverall, which is not what Caine was wearing and not what's shown on the box art, or even there. As you can see, very different. They obviously put together the figure kit and then decided this is probably most famous for its role or its appearance in A Bridge Too Far, and added the Caine sort of image to reinforce that after they'd already done the molding stuff. Anyway, color paint guide. This one is the Guard Armor Division 45, which is what Caine's character was the commander of, was the Irish Guards. So this is the one that you'd want for Bridge Too Far. We also have I'll move this down. Driving and Maintenance School, Lulworth, 1943. Don't know why you'd want that one at all. 29th Armored Brigade, Germany, 45, and 64th Anti-Tank Regiment, Italy, 44. And that one's kind of interesting, especially white underframe and undercarriage. So that's that. We'll move on to the parts. Now this is what was rattling. It's out of the bag just now. As you can see, the tires are separate from everything else, and they're ball cast. I think the tread depth is a bit much for 1/35th, but it'll be passable, especially if you mud them up a bit. That's your lower hull. It is tiny. To give you an idea of how small this is, that is a Cromwell. Yeah, tiny. Looks like a bathtub compared to a mid-sized tank. Anyway, nothing particularly wrong with this. Detail along here, there's not much of it. It is fine. More mid-80s Tamiya looking to me than anything else, which is not a problem. Anyway, moving on. You got all the, we'll move this down a bit. Better? Not so much. Hold on a second. Need something to soften the color for you guys. Or soften the white. That's a bit better. Some radios, various guns, holsters, magazine pouches. I'm assuming a lot of this won't get used. But that Tommy gun would be nice to add to the parts bin if you don't want to do the full interior. Then some of the interior parts, the steering wheel, more stuff that I don't know what it is. I'm not seeing excess flash, and they're pretty crisp. So yeah, this one's actually in its own little bag. It's the top of the hull. Again, Nicely molded. No flash. Just a couple of screw gates to cut out. More of the body work. Move up a bit for this. Go this way. There's the frame, different hoods or bonnets, whatever you want to call them. Steering linkage, it looks like. Interesting. The shovel has brackets already on it, and yet there's photo etch to attach it with. I wonder why. Well, oops. There's part of the wheels. There's more of the wheels. Again, clean molding. Maybe a little bit bold in the detail. Could probably be a little bit more subtle, but it's fine. It'll all soften up with paint and stuff on it, and some weathering. Yep. And more pieces. More parts of the wheels. The leaf springs. Transmission, the motor. The radiator, which I don't think you'd see and probably don't even want to use. Isn't really going to fool anybody, but it's nice that it's in there in such a small kit that they're including the engine and stuff. Lots of small parts. I'm assuming those are pedals, gas pedals, etc. Fire extinguisher is already mounted. So there must be other ones around here someplace that go into the photo etch version. So maybe you can dodge using some of the photo etch if you want to, and I do. And speaking of which, the photo etch. It's not the thinnest one I've ever seen, but it's certainly not the thickest. Hopefully we can get in close for you guys. Lots of small photo etch parts. For those who enjoy it, have at it. I'm not a fan. And then, I'm not even sure if this will show up. The clear. There's actually 2 bits in there. I don't think it's going to show. I'm not sure how to make it show. And this. There's a bit of windshield or window, and then right around here, if you're picking it up, it's a clear round piece of styrene, a rod that's bent right around. Not sure if that's supposed to be the antenna later on or what. I'll find out. And the decals, or decals, lots and lots of them. Certainly far more than you'll use. They're all clean. Bronco's labels on them. They all seem to be in register and are quite legible. See if you guys can pick up the backing. Most of them, the access is not bad. They're fairly tight to the actual item being illustrated. And then the figures, which are, again, nicely molded. Not a huge fan of so many plugs on stuff, just more cleanup to do. I would put these with on the level of mini art. But So that's that. That'll be part of my entry into the Bridge Too Far group build. And what I'll probably do is just come back with a quick update on it and a quick review after it's built. So take care.